Morning, guys. Martin Ferrasci, Protect Dog Training. Just getting done with my normal routine in the morning. I get up early in the morning and let the dogs all out, get them situated in their kennels and stuff. And when as cold as it is, a lot of times I'll just head to town to get something to eat and then come back and wait for it to be a little warmer before I start into my routine of dealing with the dogs. So I just got done with breakfast, and now what I'm going to do is go back and load dogs up. I'm going back down to Bass Pro with the Doberman. And take Joker with me and the Dobie, and then later I got a scheduled outing with some bite work with some other trainers that I'm getting together with to do some bite work. So that should be fun. So I thought I would kind of go over some of the main points in regards to environmental. What do I usually do with environmental? And one of those things is you've heard me talk about it before is their toy. Get them high on that toy. And I use a little canvas bone that I get from Tractor Supply, and I throw that for the puppy in. I get them high on it and let them come in and play with it. And I get the dog high on that toy to start. And then when I go out in public, I take that toy with me, and that toy becomes what I call the anchor. In other words, it anchors the dog mentally into something that's fun and enjoyment, can take their mind off the stress of being out in public. If they're nervous, they're a little upset or whatever, you can use the environment like Home Depot or wherever you may be, that you have dead aisles, right? And if the dog seems like it's a little bit nervous and not having his, I'll take it over to a dead aisle, I'll throw the toy down the aisle and let them retrieve it, get them into play, get their mind into the same emotional state of mind that they are when they're with me and they're secure at home. Right? Or they're secure at the park, or wherever it may be, but they go out in those new environments and they may be a little bit stressed by it. And that's very natural for a young puppy, and your job is to get the dog through it. So I call this toy their little nana, their anchor. Okay? Very important to have an anchor in their life that you can take them back to and keep them distracted and keep them into a positive emotional state of mind. Because if you've heard me talking about it before, and I may mention on somebody's thread this morning, they were talking about bite work in a major competition that the gentleman is covering, and he made a comment in regards to it. He didn't say amazing, he actually corrected me on that. He said he finds it interesting that a dog can go from an aggressive state and be a very aggressive, and then all of a sudden just flip right into an emotional state of mind of being all lovey-dovey and friendly. And I came back and told him that, in a nutshell, that's not a mystery to me. And again, it's my word, not his. But it's not a mystery to me by virtue of the fact that when we work with an animal, as you get to be better and better at training and you start to learn how to train, 90% of what you do is being cognizant and aware of, you heard me talk about this a lot, of drive states, which is nothing more than an emotional state of mind that you as a trainer manipulate to get the dog into the right frame of mind to be able to condition them to do the behaviors that we want. And then you'll get some trainers that'll get into, I got a trainer I'm working with right now, and he's starting to learn and grow and get past this, but he got stuck in this little rut of getting into luring. And it looks great on film. He's luring the dog everywhere, and he's creating behaviors of heel, sit down, stay, and behaviors, but he's not challenging the dog to develop the dog's mental state of mind within environment, within people, places, and things, and building confidence that ends up being the nucleus and the most important part of anything that I do as a trainer when I'm building my protection dogs. When I build the dog to be not just do the behaviors of heel, sit down, stay. I build confidence. I build that dog to be strong. I want a dog that's going to be strong and be very confident within himself. And then I'm also trying to develop the dog's stability so that he's not afraid of anything. So that he's very confident with agility is how we do that, right? And we build the dog's confidence within his body and everything else. The more confidence we can give the dog, the easier it is to train him to do any of the sports, to do any of it. The sports are just a criteria of a behavior set that dog is required to do to meet the criteria of whatever scenario that it may be in whatever sport that it may be, right? And each one of these have little diamonds in the rough. In other words, things that they're looking for that denote the criteria that they want within that dog, within that sport. Okay? And schützen, it's grips. They want the dog to be biting back in the molars and have a nice solid grip. They don't want a dog growling because it shows weakness. They want a dog that's very calm and methodical and takes control of the decoy, right? You ever see them do their attack where they're running out the decoy and they hit the sleeve and all of a sudden that dog will just have enough strength and he's controlling the decoy and he bends him backwards and the decoy can't get the dog back and the crowd goes crazy. Why is that? It's because those that are in the sport know that that dog is going to be judged on the criteria of strength, and for that dog to be overwhelming the decoy and to be so confident and so sure of himself in his work and have the strength, okay, the mental and the physical strength to take control of that decoy, right? And when the decoy doesn't have total control of him, the dog's showing that he's got control of that decoy, there goes the points, right? That's what it's all about, the criteria that's involved with the point structure that they have behind any sport that's out there, right? There's some kind of logical criteria that they have built that sport around. And so that's what I get into, is going into all these different, I don't go out and compete, but I'm on the bench and I am watching and I am paying attention, and I have for years, to what is exactly that the things that I want my dog to be to meet my criteria, right? What is my criteria? I want a dog that's real. I want it to be able to take any place with me, friendly and fine. And if I tell him to go, he's got a trigger word that'll have him go on and off like a light. What does that fulfill? That fulfills the need for deterrent factor. Because I never really want to have my dog have to bite somebody, but I might get in conflict with somebody, and I need to warn them and tell them that they need to get their shit together and either leave the area, they might be in my backyard, or whatever it may be. You know, you have some kind of interaction with somebody, and that's what the dog is there to do, right? In my world, I would much rather have my dog fulfill his criteria to deter that threat with his presence, with hitting the fences, with a large barks and aggressive stance that fulfills the criteria of deterrent factor, okay? That's really what I want, but I also want to train a dog that's got enough in him that I know that he can do the job if he need be, right? Very important, right? That he fulfills the needs of the criteria that I need in my world, which is personal protection. And then I look at all the other sports and I find the things that I need in my training program that are going to fulfill what I want within my criteria, okay? So that's why I always tell people that I have a signature art, okay? I create something that is very individualistic and it's a piece of art in my mind, right? That when I get done, you'll never have another dog like mine. You just won't, okay? And because of the criteria, because how I raise them, what I do with them, that fulfills that shaping and forming of that clay, it produces a finished product, right? Because I look at the science in the art of dog training more of as an art in my world than it is a science. It's full of science, don't get me wrong, guys, because we can't have one without the other, right? But at the same time, there is a lot of art in somebody that knows how to train a dog, can shape and form that dog, right? And I've been doing this since I've been a baby, so there's a lot of that. So I'll go ahead and sign off. You guys have a good day. It's Mr. Environmental signing off. Oscar. Talk to you guys later.